Miles of fire, I'm losing ground, and in the flashing, my world comes crashing down. I'm left in nowhere, no place to hide, out in the open, like ashes in the sky. I quit the illusion. the tragedies and set our spirits free. Together we can bring back home the ones who've lost and give them love, and give them love. They can try to bring us down, but we know we're much too proud to lose faith. We have what it takes. 'Cause we are a new generation. 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 You can be anything you wish to be. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Because in this world there are no limitations. We can make our names live on through time and space. They can try to bring us down, but we know we're much too proud to lose faith. We have what it takes. 'Cause we are a new generation. We are a new generation. A new generation.
Hello there guys, how's it going? Welcome to the stream and welcome to Viper versus Lojza. Looks like we're set to start exactly on time, which is awesome. Both of these guys are in the game room and seemingly ready to go. We'll get started in just a minute and I'm really looking forward to this set. Obviously, first game of the Viper in this event so far, so obviously everyone's going to be pretty hyped about that, I'm sure. And yeah, I think this is probably going to be a reasonably comfortable set for the Viper. He did just say in the chat he's not feeling too great though, so he said he might have to pause a little bit here or there, but we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yes.
Alright, so they're going to get started now, and obviously we're going to go into game number 1 very shortly. The set, of course, is a best of 4, as you guys are very well aware, but I'll go over it for those of you who might not have seen much of the content from the event so far. The set is a best of 4, which means it's the first of 3 wins, but the set can also be drawn at 2-2. And the first game is going to be played on the TEC Light pack, which is a collection of 8 maps, which are kind of random, not too extreme, but very nice maps. And the setting says that players cannot choose to play as the Huns, Aztecs, Mayans, or Vikings, and they will choose their civs using the hidden civ format, which is good. Hopefully these guys are ready to start. Just a second. Hello to everyone on the stream as well. I wasn't expecting everything to just get going straight away. Like, usually there's 3 or 4 minutes delay at the very least. And we come in here, and Viper and Lojza are both here on the dot, and they've launched the game already. So no delays today, hopefully. If you want to bet on these games, betting is open as well. You can bet by typing !bet in the chat, and then following that with option A, B, C, D, or E, based on what you want to bet on. Option A is 3-0 to the Viper, option B is 3-1 to the Viper, option C is a draw, option D is 3-1 to Lojza, and option E is 3-0 to Lojza. And then you type !bet, the option, and then the number of florins you want to bet on that option. Alright, so as much as I said, hey, it looks like we're not going to have any downtime, any delays or anything. Viper has cancelled the game launch and he says he's got to be right back. Okay, so we'll have to sit tight for a minute and wait for this set to get started. Okay, so we should be ready to start in just a minute. Like I say, Viper will be right back. But this is good for you guys. You guys get a little bit of extra time to get your bets in, I guess. And we have the opportunity to get people onto the stream so they don't miss anything at all. I'm expecting, I mean, my personal prediction would be 3-0 to the Viper in this set. And, you know, Lojza is a very strong player, but he is not quite on the level of Viper, I don't think. I mean, he is obviously, you know, he's a 2K2 expert. He is up there with the best at the moment. But Viper is on another level, you know, and I expect a 3-0 for Viper. Saying that, I would love to see Lojza get a game, though, and make it 3-1. I would really like to see Lojza get a game off of the Viper here. And for Lojza, this is probably like, you know, the worst way to start this event for him. From his perspective, he's got probably the toughest player of the whole event to go against in round number 1. But at least for him, it's uphill from here, I suppose. Lojza is a player from the Czech Republic. He's been around for quite some time, and he's played really well in previous tournaments. He's played really well, and he's surprised a lot of players in previous tournaments as well with who he's knocked out. It's a best of 4, which means that it can draw. It's the first of 3 wins, but since it's a best of 4, it means that it can go 2-2, which would class as a draw. But since it's a league format, drawing is good. Thank you very much, Jesus Cripe, for subscribing again for the 10th month in a row. Awesome stuff. Thank you very much. So after this game, we've pretty much done the first week of the Empire Collective Cup, or round 1 ends at midnight tonight. However, we have had a few problems with scheduling, for the Gold League. As you can see, ACCM and Spaden are scheduled to play on Wednesday. That's for their round 1 game. Some round 1 games have still not been played yet in the Gold League. NBL is yet to play as well. NBL is on holiday at the moment, so his game against VNS Yellow has not been played for round 1 yet. But obviously, you know, it's summertime and players are going on holiday, so of course exceptions and extra time have been given to players who are on holiday. So there's going to be a few delays getting all of the games finished, but with round 1 coming to an end tonight, most of the games have been played in the Platinum League at the very least, so that's good. There is actually going to be a game at midnight tonight between Kongens and Spring for the Gold League. They're going to be playing tonight at, I think, 11 p.m., which is pretty late. They're scheduled to play at 10 p.m. UTC, but that's too late for me to start casting them. And ACCM and Spaden are playing next week. And then other than that, Mentalist has claimed an admin win because Seoul didn't turn up to his games apparently, but I think there was a little bit of a confusion between AM and PM with the scheduling thread, which was a little bit of a mess. Zuppy and Vodka L have not played yet, and Vinchester, I believe, is on holiday as well, so they've been given extra time. But once, obviously, everything gets sort of rolling, I expect scheduling should go a little smoother. It's nice to know, though, that the Platinum League has gone very smoothly so far, because, I mean, that is where the majority of our attention is at, I suppose. Most of the attention is on the big guys. Rez is on holiday at the moment, so he's not able to cast right now. He'll be casting with me next week, hopefully. Barbecue, you know what, I could ask him. I'll ask him if he's interested in casting the games tonight at midnight. But I have a feeling he won't, because he can't. I don't think Barbecue can stream very well. I don't think his internet's that good. Obviously, Rez could stream if he was available, but Rez is not available at the moment. Anyway, we'll get game 1 going in just a moment. There's the scoreboard at the top of the screen for you. 0-0, as we're waiting on Viper now to just get back. And, yeah, he said he wasn't feeling too well, so hopefully that's not going to be too much of a problem for him. Viper won't be streaming this game, I don't think. I don't really mind if players want to stream their games. I mean, that's kind of fine by me, but players will often choose not to because it kind of affects their performance. I know Viper in the past has said that that he wouldn't want to stream tournament games because it makes his mouse lag or whatever.
Yes.
Bets aren't closed yet. Bets will be closed in a minute. 5 minutes into the first game. It's worth noting as well, each player can call 1 restart for the entire set. So, since it's best of 4, they can call 1 restart for the entire set. And if you guys were watching the stream yesterday, oh goodness me, Chris, he still won the game, but he really screwed himself over by doing a restart when he kind of didn't need to. Alright, so like I say, get your bets in if you want to bet your florins. Type !bet options to see the options, and if you want to bet !bet the option you want and then the number of florins you want to bet on that option. And once the bets are closed, we'll be able to see how many florins have been bet on each option and get an idea of what the most favoured results are. My guess is option A, but we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be some people out there who have bet on option E, 3-0 to Lojza. Maybe. At the moment, I'm trying to think of ideas for things that you guys can get with Florence. I know we do the occasional raffles here or there, and okay, the game started. There was no oh wow, they've not put a spectator delay on. Okay, all right. Jeez, no, this is not good. It's not supposed to happen. All right. Oh Jesus, my gosh, that's caught me completely out. All right, hold on, guys, hold on. get in game here. And okay, right. You're gonna have to bear with me a second. You're gonna have to bear with me for just a moment, guys and gals. Game number 1 here. I had to reinstall Age of Empires earlier on, and it means it's not started in windowed mode. So give me just a sec. Resolution tool. How do I force it into... There we go, render that. Bear with me. Start in windowed mode. Okay. Hopefully I can get back in. Yeah, I was expecting them to put a spectator delay on. That didn't happen. Game 1 has started. We're going to catch up to things in just a sec, guys. And now we should be good. Okay, alright guys. Welcome to the Empire Collective Cup. Game number 1 between TheViper and Lojza for the Platinum League. And things are going pretty awkwardly at first here. Let me just do chat off. It looks like there's a little pause. I was expecting there to be a spectator delay, but there was not, so it completely caught me out, and I didn't have my game set to windowed mode because I had to reinstall AoE earlier on. But we're sorted now. We're all good, and we're 1 minute 41 in game, and there's a pause. So let's introduce the players and try and get up to speed. You guys should be able to see what's going on now, right? I hope. Yes, you can see what's going on. We're all good. Apart from the fact that the UI is now bugged out, don't worry. Oh, goodness me. Everything is going a little bit tits up right now, but we should be sorted in a moment. All right. So then, we got Viper versus Lojza for game 1 in their Empire Collective Cup Platinum game set. It looks like actually with game being paused like this, have they gone back to the game room? Have they gone back? What's happened here? What is happening? What is going on? Okay. I'm gonna have to close the game. Jesus. Let's try this again. Okay, bear with me a sec, guys. Everything is going wrong, and it's not good. There we go. Yeah, I had to like reinstall Voobly earlier, and I had to reinstall AoE, and it's caused a few settings to go tits up at the last second. But I think we should be sorted now. Man, everything was so good yesterday, and now there's a few problems, but we should be sorted. We should be sorted. Oh, okay, hold on. It's trying to start me at single player menu. Why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? It's trying to put me at the single player menu for some reason. And now we should be sorted. Okay, guys. So we're going to have missed a couple of seconds. But, well, okay, we are here. Everything should be okay now. Alright, sorry about that pretty botched up start. Everything went very badly wrong all of a sudden. But we are here now with TheViper versus Lojza in their first game for the Empire Collective Cup. Unfortunately, the first 5 minutes has been kind of missed. But we are back up to real time. And everything should be now all good in the hood. Alright, so up to the east of the map, in the yellow, we've got TheViper. He's playing as the Britons over here. And in the green, down to the south of the map, in as the Persians, we have Lojza. Alright, we should be sorted now. Everything seems good, and we're ready to cast this game and pretend that none of that bad stuff just happened. So, game number 1 then is the Empire Collective Cup map pack. It's the light version of the pack, which contains 8 maps, and they randomly get a map out of that pack. Now, I've got a feeling here, yeah, that's correct, that everything is sorted, so we should be ready to go, and that was a little bit of an awkward start, wasn't it? But I think we're sorted now. Map looks like Caribbean, which is a kind of interesting map, and we got these shallows here to cross over, which is not always present, I believe, in the multiplayer version, not the multiplayer, the team game version of this map. But anyway, over here on the right side. A little bit of a scuffle already, and it looks like Lojza maybe with the slight advantage here. Nope, no, he's not. Viper managing to kill his scout off pretty quickly in that little fight. I didn't expect that. I thought actually Lojza had the advantage in health there, but just goes to show, getting that first hit can get you a quick, easy win in that little scout fight. And as a result, Viper now going to be able to keep a close eye on his opponent, to be able to scout around and see what's going on. Maybe even push some deer into his TC with this scout, since it's alive and well. Yeah, I need to kind of just get things together a little bit here, as things went a little bit crazy at the start there. So the map being Caribbean, and the civs were chosen in using the hidden civ format, which means that both players chose their civs without the other player seeing, and they get into the game and then they kind of find out what's going on. Viper obviously choosing to play as the Britons here, Lojza choosing to play as the Persians. So non-mirror civs, which is nice, and I'm surprised really that we didn't see the Mongols. So far, every single game, set 1 game, has included a Mongol pick, and since the Huns, the Vikings, the Aztecs, and the Mayans have been banned, essentially, it's kind of surprising that neither of these guys have gone for the Mongols. And Viper choosing to go as the Britons again. Like, he's been doing this a lot recently. If any of you guys watched some of Balance of Power, Viper was playing the Britons like all the time. Really kind of weird, and he's still choosing to play the Britons here. I don't think that's necessarily a terrible choice. We saw a Briton pick in one of the sets, I believe, and they do fairly well. Obviously, the Persians, a pretty good all-round civ, and very good on maps like Nomad. And with this map being, you know, a kind of hybrid, mostly water map, but a kind of hybrid with both the center area here up for grabs. I think the Persians are probably going to do pretty well. Lojza up to the feudal age first, which sets him up pretty nicely, and he's scouting around. I think he's actually, having a look at his point of view, he's scouted the front of the Viper's base and seen the Viper has not built a dock on the front. So he's going straight around the right side, and he's going to go ahead and assume that Viper's in the corner of the map. And in fact, he doesn't really need to assume that, because he's actually scouted here with his scout before he died. He's scouted over at the back that this house was being built, and obviously this palisade was here, which indicates that there is a dock behind the fog of war. Lojza, good game sense, and bringing himself forward. Bringing himself around the back to try and find some of Viper's fishing ships. He's going to find one. He might just find 2 as he chases this one down. He doesn't care that he's outnumbered here. He just wants those fish. And if he can kill some more fishing ships, he might even get another one at this rate. No, he's going to clear out. But if he can take those fishing ships away from Viper here, that's going to put him in great stead for this game. And, you know, Viper, unfortunately, we kind of missed the start of the game. So we didn't get a real good idea of whether Viper's start was great or not. But he's docked on the back, which is kind of interesting, you know. I mean, there's not that many fish back here. There's a single big fish remaining. There's one on the right side as well, so there's 2 big fish to be had. Whereas Lojza, you know, docking on the front, not great fish, but he's built his dock right here in the center of the map, off the center island, and he's taking the fish there. Lojza looking pretty aggressive, and I like that. I think, you know, playing against the Viper, you've got to play very, very, very aggressive, and Lojza doing exactly that. He's now got a fish advantage. He has a single extra fishing ship out on the map. And I think, you know, since I've reinstalled this game, everything's got a bit messy, and we need to put those game sounds up a little higher, I think, so we can kind of hear what's going on as well. But yeah, Viper here, looking pretty strong with these galleys now. He actually repaired one up at the shoreline, so he's got the galley advantage here at this fight. They both have fletching done, and spectator dashboard seems to be bugging out slightly. It's not showing me the text in the top right, but we should be all good. At the moment, Lojza with a pretty nice score lead, actually. He's got Viper on the defensive, and on the front, building a barracks right here, as Viper now taking his gold on the front, and nothing on the land at all to give any indication that he's expecting a landing. Nothing at all in terms of water control in the center of the map. So for Lojza, so easy for him to just walk across here with a couple of villagers, or not even that, a single villager, build a barracks, probably go ahead and build an archery range, and he's going to go ahead and put some archers into Viper's eco. As a result of doing that, he might fall behind in galley count. Obviously, Viper here, 3 docks working continuously. Lojza with 3 as well, but bear in mind he's got to build a barracks and an archery range. That's costing him quite a bit of wood, and so maybe a little bit of dock idle time creeping in, and you can see this dock here falling idle a little bit. But it's worth the price of losing a few galleys to get these buildings up and actually put some military into your opponent's eco. If you catch them with their pants down, if you can catch them off guard, then your opponent is going to be in a situation where, oh goodness me, your opponent's going to be in a situation where they're going to get really screwed over by it. They have to react very quickly, and if they don't react exactly right, if they don't react completely in the right way, they might end up losing a lot more than your loss of galleys at the start. So Lojza coming in here with potentially a couple of archers, and it's looking pretty strong. He's got a watchtower coming up at the back of this gold as well, and this is a real problem because not only is Viper's gold sort of on the front, but look at this. There's gold right back here, but he'd have to move all of his villagers away. It would be very much less than ideal. Viper now fighting with his vills, not always the best way to do things, especially when you've got more archers coming out, and Lojza is more than capable of a little bit of micromanagement. If he kills a villager now, that would be pretty huge, as they're both on 38 villagers each at the moment, which is kind of nice. Lojza here then, gonna get his tower up. Viper's lost a villager, and Lojza now with one villager advantage, and he's basically covering this gold with his tower. His archers gonna sit at the base of this tower here. Viper gonna lose maybe one more villager here. Oh, she was so low. But it looks like he's going to be able to keep the rest safe now as he jumps inside. Lojza here going to have to garrison his own villager inside his tower, and Viper using these 3 villagers to come and attack the tower to try and bring it down. Lojza though, he's obviously going to want to bring more archers over here and push these villagers away, and some of these guys are pretty low, so this archer would probably have got a kill if he'd have sat there underneath that tower for too long. Viper throwing up another archery range in defense. That's 2 now, and I think, you know, initially he was planning on just doing a simple fast castle. He's still managing to pull that off. He's still going up to the castle age at the moment, and he's going to try now and, well, defend as best he can. At the moment, the defense is just fine. He's obviously been pushed away from this gold, and at the moment, he's not taking the gold at the back, but he's got enough gold in the bank now to keep archers coming out for the time being. Once he gets castle, of course, we'll see what he does then. He might be tempted to do a siege workshop. He's probably going to want to upgrade to war galleys still to try and retake water, since having water control here is still going to be really good. Lojza also on the way up to the castle age though, and he is a little further behind Viper here in the timing, but still he's got good map control. He's the one on the front here, and he's thrown up a stable, which is awesome because, as we know, Persian knights have +2 attack against archer units. So if a knight comes out, the archers from Viper are going to be, you know, in a tough spot. Bodkin arrows coming in, war galleys coming in, and Lojza here on the right side, almost perfect timing, coming in to fight these galleys. And I don't know why he's went back there, because he needs to push this now. He can push it and push it and push it. There's war galley from Viper, now he's got to go back. But a good timing on that attack, really, because he killed a bunch of galleys before they got upgraded. If he'd have actually stayed in that fight, he may have actually been able to pull that off and get a big upper hand, even with the Viper's War Galley upgrade coming in. Lojza probably going to be doing War Galley very soon as well, but right now, focusing on getting those knights out. He's done 2 stables, he's got 2 knights already, and there's 2 more on the way. A siege workshop on the front, and I'm really loving this aggressive style from Lojza here. Viper's sitting back at the back of the map with his TC here on the gold, taking tons and tons of gold, but he's going to need it. And bear in mind now, Viper, with that second TC, it's much cheaper for him as the Britons. But Lojza's coming in. He's got no bloodlines on these knights, but he does have +1 defense. No crossbow upgrade for Viper yet, and I imagine that will be coming soon. The tech thing on the top right is not there right now because spectator dashboard kind of bugged out a little bit, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll be there for the next game. But yeah, Lojza's looking good. He's denying this university right now. Viper clearly going for ballistics here, and I thought that would have been a siege workshop at first. But Viper here coming in with some war galleys now, and I think maybe disrupting some fishing ships. He's certainly pushed them away from the center of the map. But Lojza's still fishing and doing that comfortably. Smagadel out for Lojza here, and Knights as well supporting this. Viper maybe tempted with a monastery. He's got a lot of gold, and against knights, obviously a monastery going to be pretty effective. We'll see some of the Viper's godly micro perhaps though, as these mangonels start pushing in, but it's not going to be easy to out micro too, Viper or not. It's going to be a tough one, and he's got quite a few idols now in this TC, and idle villages are not good for you, whatever way you look at it. So these five or six war galleys on the water, not too much of a threat to Lojza. He will unfortunately lose his fishing ships right now, but there's not that many fish available for him to take anyway. He's only taking the shore fish as it is, and right now he's pushing forwards on the front. He's got +2 defense, he's got bloodlines done, and he's finding Viper's villages all over the place. Viper 3 villages down, and that's with 3 TCs now, and playing very passively at the back here with these TCs. And sure, that's going to be great for trying to keep his villagers nice and safe, but I don't know if he's going to be able to keep this TC too safe on the front. That stable there, bringing out a single knight, that's obviously enough to take down 2 mangonels, since they were pretty undefended by Lojza's own knights. And Viper now looking like he's defended very well so far, and he's with the water control here. He's going to be able to perhaps hold down this game. It's not going to run away from him, it seems. He's up to 3 TCs, and so we would expect that he would be able to start pulling ahead in villager count versus Lojza's 2 TCs. But obviously villagers are not everything, and Lojza is still on the prowl with his knights at the back, looking to find some more vills where he can. But he's going to lose a couple of knights here. He's going to lose this 3rd knight as well, and that was a little sloppy from him, letting that last one go down, but he's going to have a hard time, whichever way he looks at it, whichever way you look at it, he's going to have a hard time finding too many more villagers in here. So Lojza right now, off to a fantastic start, but that advantage that he once had has kind of slipped away from him now, as Viper puts up a really good defense in here, and doing pretty much all the right things at all the right times, and getting pretty upgraded with these crossbows. I'm pretty sure he's got ballistics now, since he killed those knights so easily. Looking pretty scary, I think, for Lojza, and I think right now he needs to get back on the water. I'm checking these docks, I'm looking for War Galley, but he doesn't have it at the moment. What's he doing with the stables? Well, most of them are now idle. Siege Workshop is idle, the archery range is idle, and I'm wondering now what Lojza's master plan is. It seems like his economy is a little imbalanced. He's set his eco up for knights, kind of, you know, he's taking loads of gold. He's got 1,200 gold in the bank, but knights alone now are not going to be what he needs. He needs to get some war galleys out and hold on to that water control. And at the moment, he's not really set up to do that. He doesn't have the food to actually afford war galley, since he's up to 3 TCs, and he's trying to pump villagers out from all 3. The food income is not there, and obviously he's lost his fishing ships, so there's no supplement on the water for his food either. So, not ideal at the moment for Lojza, not ideal. And I heard a camel coming out, I think, right there. He's doing a camel as well to deal with Viper's knights. But that's quite a few crossbows from Viper out here. And Lojza, even though his knights are good versus archers, these guys are Britain crossbows. They have extra range. They're fully upgraded nearly with the attacks at the very least. And these knights, I don't know. He's going to have to get quite a few of them if he intends on attacking those archers head on. Viper now coming forwards in the middle of the map with the castle, and that is just going to make this so much easier, so much simpler for him as this game goes on. This castle is going to be fantastic for holding down the water. It's going to be great for obviously protecting this gold and claiming that. It's going to prevent Lojza from really defending his docks here, and Viper knows if at the end of the day he takes the water control, he's going to be in a position where he could probably just close this game out, and Lojza is going to be forced to try and retake water here. Viper at the docks, they're currently idle. He's on 101 population. Lojza's on 90. He's only 10 behind. But Viper's War Galley is looking pretty dominant out here, and Lojza's still not upgrading to War Galley either. And this is the thing, as the game goes on, when these guys get upgraded to Galleon, it's going to be very difficult for Lojza to cross here. It doesn't matter if he's got knights, paladins, whatever. If there's mass Galleons blocking him, then the Galleons will win. They're an incredibly strong unit with a lot of health, a lot of attack. Still, Lojza has got his forward though, and he's still making units out here. 6 knights, 2 rams, and a mangonel. Perhaps looking for another attack on Viper's eco. And it surprises me that Viper's not, you know, taking the time to try and clear this out or wall it up or something, leaving himself kind of wide open to an attack back at home, whilst his whole army is away fighting Lojza at his own base, at Lojza's base. So, I don't know, I'm expecting that from Lojza in a minute. Gonna launch this sneak attack almost. So I wouldn't really call it a sneak anymore since Viper's very well aware of it. But yeah, I mean, Lojza's now forced to defend his eco. Viper's just running in there. Ballistics is done, so he's going to be finding those villagers all over the place. So many villagers going to be going down. You're talking about, what, 3, 4, 5, 6 villagers already? And the villager count now for Viper getting ahead for the first time in a little while, as he destroys a whole section of Lojza's economy. And I think Lojza's going to try and bring this mangonel over, but it just kind of seems to have just stopped in its tracks, and Viper's just going to keep on moving, keep on shooting those vills. And I think Lojza at the moment with a lot of villager idle time, and that's got to really hurt him. Having a quick look at the villager idle time in total, I think it's a little broken. Spec dashboard is not working right now too well. But I was going to say, Lojza's, there's no doubt he's got more villager idle time at this stage, and that is obviously not so good. Anyway, this counter-attack, or the sneak attack on the right side is coming in, and he's taking down Viper's first TC. So I guess I got something right this game, and that was the falling, or the defeat of this town center. And Lojza immediately hurting Viper's economy, taking Viper now below his villager count. And he's got a lot of knights out here, but Viper with another castle in this section of his eco to keep it safe. He's done pikemen, and he's going to be trying to push out. He's going to be pushing out to try and stop this from coming in, and it's just only knights. So, you know, pikes fairly good at going to be fairly good at dealing with that. Thing is, there's 3 rams here, and I think Viper's probably going to be doing a mangonel pretty soon, you'd think. He's going to want to be able to protect this castle, and sure, there's a lot of arrows flying around right here, but these rams could take their toll on this castle if he's not careful. 2 rams now, 1 going down, and Viper's just going to use his vills to take the rams out. More knights coming in, but running headlong into the pikes. He's trapped between 2 TCs and a castle, and that's not good. He's fighting pikes head on, and Lojza, sure, he took down 1 TC, sure, he hurt Viper's eco as he pushed in there, but Viper was he was quickly able to push those knights away, leaving the KD right now at 83 kills for the Viper and 65 kills for Lojza, with Lojza still not having water control, though it's not, I guess, that important considering Lojza at the moment has this forward that is continuing to pump units out and push forwards. But Viper's on the way up to Imp, and he's going to be there in just a moment. Once he gets Imp, well, we'll see what he does next. At the moment, he's got a lot of archers out. He could still go down the arbalest route, which is very common for the Britons, and obviously these arbalest, these crossbows, are going to get much more strong, much more quickly as they get upgraded with the extra range and the techs from the Imperial Age. And Lojza calls GG. 40-minute game there. Sorry for the very bad start, but Lojza, what a great game from him. I mean, he actually looked like he had a lot of opportunities that game. He made opportunities for himself. It wasn't just a 40 minutes of Lojza defending himself from the might of the Viper. That was 40 minutes of Lojza making it difficult for the Viper, and that was a really good game from him. He had a great start, obviously, managing to push Viper towards the back of the map on the water, and then buy himself the space and create the space to make this landing on the front, which Viper definitely got caught out by. The ram rush coming in there, and all those knights, definitely a sacrifice of the Imperial Age. Lojza there, obviously, not going to be able to reach the Imperial Age when he's doing all those knights and rams at the same time. But yeah, what a great game there. Viper still getting the win, of course, but very well played game by Lojza. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, I need to sort out settings and things. Like I said, I reinstalled Voobly earlier on, and I also reinstalled Age of Empires because I was having some real problems. As a result, everything has got messed messy, to say the least. But we'll hopefully sort that out now between games, as TheViper asks for just a couple of minutes to see how his stomach is going to treat him. Okay, so pretty nice first game anyway. And right now, I'm going to sort out these settings and get everything sorted out. What thingy, Lord Turbo Tom? Yeah, I'm doing that, Jazz P. I'm putting the minimap back in the middle. I'm also changing my settings so I don't get messages and alerts all the time. Alright, that should be better now. Alright guys, well thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow the stream if you haven't already. Obviously everyone pretty hyped for Viper's games here. Viper's stomach not treating him well though apparently. He said he'll be back in 5 minutes and see how he feels. He said he might not be able to finish the set of games here. So we'll have to sit tight for a minute and find out if Viper is going to be able to play the remaining games in this set. But yeah, like I say, apologies for the bad start there. It should be all sorted now. So while we wait for TheViper to come back, I'm going to play a real short ad. We'll be back in just 2 minutes time, guys. And hopefully we'll get the next game underway. I'll keep you guys updated.
Don't let anybody tell you differently, because in this world there are no limitations. We can make our names live on through time and space. They can try to bring us down, but we know we're much too proud.
Yes.
Alright guys, so game number 2 coming right up. Viper's feeling alright. right, well, I don't feeling okay, but he is definitely feeling a little better. He's feeling good enough to play. Thank you very much, Flashy Julie, for subscribing there in the ad break. Much appreciated. Let's see those Wallow hypes for Flashy Julie. Much appreciated. Thank you for supporting the stream and everything we got going on here. So game number 2, just about to get started. The spectator delay, it's counting down, and there's 10 seconds on the clock. So we should be ready to go in about 3, 2, 1, roughly about now. There we go. It's popping up, and let's go in game. Here we go. And there we sorted. Sort of. Music. Goodness me. What I need to do real quick is just change this and move it. I've got, I set the thing wrong again, but yeah, you know what, guys? We'll be alright for now. I've changed the UI position, and I put the UI position in the slightly wrong place, as you can probably tell. We'll sort that out for the next game. I apologize. Oh, goodness me. When is it going to go right? I don't know. But anyway, game number 2 now for the Empire Collective Cup. Viper versus Lojza. And the score is currently 1-0 to the Viper after a really, really nice first game. Game number 2 then is Lojza's home map. And Lojza has chosen to play on Arena here. This is his choice. This is where he wants to play this game. He wants to play it on Arena. This is his home turf. And Lojza here, up to the north of the map, playing in the green. And he's actually playing as the Britons. And I'm like, what? He's playing as the Britons? A very, very unusual choice, I think. And, you know, I've seen Lojza play a lot of Arena, and it actually doesn't surprise me he's chosen to play this map. But I am surprised by the fact that he has chosen to play as the Britons here. In fact, every single game 2 that we have seen, and every single game 3 that we have seen, has been an Aztec war. But he's chosen to play Britons here, and we'll see how that one goes. Down to the south of the map, in the yellow, we've got Viper playing as the Aztecs, and that is a much more standard Civ pick, and a Civ pick that would be definitely the favored Civ pick. So just based on Civs alone, the Aztecs should be having the upper hand in this situation. But we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if Lojza has some amazing new strategy to unveil to us here today about what he is planning to do. The only thing I can think of with the Britons is that he might be trying to do like a 2 or 3 TC mini boom, because obviously the Briton TCs are a lot cheaper, and aiming for a nice fast castle time with the sheep bonus. With the mini boom under his belt, he might try and then take map control. But this is the thing, you know, the Aztecs are going to be doing the kind of standard fast castle, maybe 1, 2 monasteries with some Eagle Warrior support, and you can pretty much expect them to be hoovering up those relics. They'll be taking as many relics as they can get their grubby hands on, and we can expect to see Viper here getting at least 3 relics in this game, unless Lojza has simply, like, you know, chosen the Britons, and then he's going to go for monks and that stuff anyway. But this is the thing, when you're playing against the Aztecs, you really don't want to be letting the Aztec players scoop up those relics. So it almost forces the non-Aztec player to try and go for the relics anyway, because the relic bonus, the 33% extra gold that the Aztecs get, they're amazing monks. It's just going to make it so nice for them. And in fact, Viper might even get 4. He might even get 4 relics here comfortably, because, well, they're all in the center of the map. 1 relic inside of Lojza's walls. So we'll see how Lojza decides to play this one. Spaden reckons that he picked the Britons because he thought Viper would pick Turks. I don't know though, that's strange. I mean, to assume the Viper would pick Turks, I think that's a little risky, you know? Like, I feel like that's too risky to do it. And obviously, you know, the Viper could have chosen Turks since it's hidden civs, but it certainly makes it interesting, the fact that players have to kind of, I guess, predict what their opponents will do. Similar, I guess, to the games we saw between Bagiofro and Tato, sorry, where Tato assumed Bagiofro would pick Mayans, and then he chose Goths to counter that. But in this situation, it's certainly not worked out too well in Lojza's favor, I imagine. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And at the moment, obviously, we're just going to be sitting tight and keeping our eye out on how the feudal or dark and feudal age build goes, it's probably going to be pretty standard at this stage of the game. But we'll see if Lojza transitions a bunch of villagers over to gold and obviously goes for monks, or if he transitions villagers to stone to do a castle. And obviously we'll keep an eye out on Viper as well. I've got to say, the games we saw yesterday between Chris and Juan were awesome. Those games were fantastic, especially the Arena Aztec War. If you've not seen those games, keep an eye out for them. They should be up on YouTube tomorrow or tonight, and you can get the recorded games on the Empire Collective Cup website, empirecollective.net. But yeah, those games were insane. They were so good. Really, really nice Aztec War. Also, I guess while we've got some downtime, we'll also say a big thank you to searchenginerevs.com for providing $1,000 for this prize fund and becoming the first official corporate sponsor for an AoE event. It's an awesome thing, and they're a fantastic, fantastic company. Also, thank you to Mozinator, donated $5. He said, "Zach, you are a handsome man. Please enable the camera." Oh, Mozinator, you sly dog. No, I'm not going to be using the webcam for these games because I kind of want to keep it about the players. You know, it's a tournament. It's about the players. It's not just like random community games. So I want to make sure that that's the real focus here, not on other things. So Viper up to the feudal age first, up to a pretty decent start, and Lojza here going up on. Well, you look at the difference. He's 26 villagers versus Viper's 23. So Viper's done a faster feudal time, and he's made less vills. And now he's into feudal. He's queued up 3 villagers, or 2 now, but he's already created 1, I believe. And he'll go up to the castle age in just a moment. He's obviously taken the time to lure those deer from outside of his walls, keeping that gate open with a sheep earlier on. And he's actually gone ahead and put extra villagers on berries. I kind of highlighted that earlier. 5 villagers on the berries there. But he shouldn't have a difficult time at all getting up to the castle age here in good speed. And 26 vills, 27 with this one coming out. Looks like Lojza is going to be doing a more standard 28 villager, or in fact 28 villager coming up. Fast castle, and actually doing an archery range here. So that gives us actually the first indication of what Lojza's strat is really going to be. And that is, of course, to make some archers here and take advantage, I guess, of the Britain's additional range to probably try and prevent Viper from actually collecting too many relics. If he can get out in the center of the map with some crossbows, with obviously 5+3 range, that's going to be pretty nice for dealing with some of these monks and perhaps stopping Viper from getting the relics. But we don't know if Viper's going to really go for monks yet. Having a look at his gold, he's got 5 villagers on gold there, which is fairly low, in fact, for full monks, but he could transition some more over. If you see someone doing a full monk, kind of two monastery monks, you'd expect to see a lot more than just 5 villagers on gold here. But we'll see, obviously. I mean, we've not seen a barracks from Viper yet, so no real indication at the moment if he's planning on doing some eagles or not to support this. But with plenty of wood in the bank, it almost seems like, well, you know, we'll sit tight and we'll wait and see. But yes, Lojza at the top of the map then, 2 archery ranges now, and I mean, he knows that Viper is more likely than not to be going for the relics, so he's going to want to go ahead and try and take that map control with the crossbows that I imagine he's going to upgrade. But Viper with a very fast castle time, he's done it on 27 vills versus the 28 of Lojza here, and yeah, I mean, you have to bear with us on Arena. It's a pretty slow-paced start, that's for sure. Slow-paced start. So yeah, Viper going up with a 2nd TC and a 3rd TC as well. So yeah, he's also doing a monastery on the front, so he's not neglecting to take or do a monastery here and go for some monks. But he is doing a 2nd and 3rd TC. And to be honest with you, I do see that more from him on Arena. Like, I don't see him do a 1 TC all-out, all-in aggression kind of thing too often. I don't see him playing like an Eddie style. More often than not, when I've seen him play Arena, I have seen him do the 2nd and 3rd TC. But it does seem like he is going to be going ahead and doing some monks. He's got a siege workshop on the way out as well. And looking obviously for a mangonel to deal with these crossbows. At the moment, it's going to be fairly tough, I think, for him to get out here and collect these relics up. So I think what Lojza's done is good. And Lojza's also now going up with his second TC. And like I said earlier on, I mean, I was expecting him to add that second TC quite quickly, whilst putting on quite a bit of pressure on the middle at the same time. Obviously, the Britain cheap TCs makes that really nice to do. Obviously, not costing quite as much wood. Third TC on the way up, and he's got Viper kind of, not necessarily at the moment pinned inside of his base, but he has forced Viper here into a situation where if he wants to get out, he is going to have to build this mangonel or risk throwing his monks away to these crossbow. The thing is, though, if Lojza's on the ball, if he's got a close eye on these crossbows here, he could out-micro this monk quite well. You know, with the Britain crossbows, 7 range at the moment, and that's without bodkin arrow. So if he gets bodkin arrow, the mangonel might be a little easier for him to out-micro and deal with, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, at the moment, bodkin arrow probably a little expensive for him since he's trying to do, you know, 3 TC boom up in here, and food is definitely not, you know, kind of laying around. It's certainly not spare at the moment. Lojza there, opting to delete his scout rather than let it get converted. And now Viper's pushing out of these walls, looking to attack ground even, to try and catch these crossbows off guard. Let's see, he's going to go for the first relic now. In fact, it looks like he's locked that gate, so he's going to delete the wall for it. Fair enough, and then go and wall it up behind. But yeah, I mean, first relic in, 33% gold bonus, that's nice, but Lojza's taking advantage of the fact he's got this map control. He's grabbing the relics out in the center of the map, and that's 2 for Lojza now. He's got 1 inside of his walls, and I think, in fact, he's already got 1. So Lojza at the moment looks like he's going to get 4 of the 5 relics, and that is quite a blow to Viper's game at the moment. I don't think he's really going to be liking the fact that he's got to sit back here and kind of just boom up a little bit. Obviously, though, the Aztecs do have a fantastic boom. Their food economy is just something else. Their farms are fantastic. He did wheelbarrow just a moment ago, so the food for Viper is really going to be churning through now, and I think we'll probably just see a very fast Imperial Age from him, and then he'll try and bust out with Eagle Warriors and retake the map control. To do this now in the Castle Age, it's going to be pretty awkward. If he wants to go for Eagles now, he'd have to first of all get +2 defense, then they would still be a little on the weak side against Lojza's crossbows. He'd have to make quite a few of them, and it's fairly expensive, so we'll probably expect to see him go for Imp fairly soon. Elvinor donated $5. He said, "Everyone sling the British player some gold." I mean you, Zach Kappa. Thank you very much for your donation. Much appreciated. Obviously very much appreciated. At the moment, Lojza here sitting on a lot of gold as well. So sling the British player some gold. Obviously, Lojza, all the gold in the world, but I don't think you're talking about this British player, are you? You're talking about this other British player that's right here. Though I'm not so much a player as a caster. I really rarely play AOC these days. Viper, though, so much gold in the bank right now. Has he got a market? Yes. Is he probably going to buy some food? We'll see. And we can always find out as well by checking the trade tab. You'll see that Viper here buying 100 food, buying 200 wood so far, maybe looking to buy some more. At the moment he's saving up for a castle as well, taking a little bit of stone, but not really prioritizing that. Doing wheelbarrow, Lojza's doing wheelbarrow, Viper's doing handcart, and Viper's going to be clicking up to Imp at about, well, 25, 30 probably, maybe 26 minutes, which is pretty fast. Lojza, hot on his heels, he's not too far behind, but obviously the lateness of wheelbarrow here is certainly going to hurt him when it comes to food income. If we have a quick look at the graphs, we should probably expect to see that Viper has got a lot more food, and yeah, I mean, Lojza's trying to close that gap now, but Viper's just bought some. You see that food there really going very high for Viper. Viper, wait, no, he didn't buy any food. That's my bad. I'm just looking at this graph and he's like really pulling ahead. Wheelbarrow and handcart making a really significant difference. And Viper now about to click up to the Imperial Age since he's got his 2 Castle Age buildings. But yeah, this is a pretty slow-paced game. Pretty, slow to get going. But once we hit Imp, we're going to see a very, very fast play from Viper, I think. And interestingly enough, 3 siege workshops coming up. So maybe we'll see quite a few rams coming out from him, since we can expect the Viking player, what am I on about? We can expect the Britain player to be making quite a lot of archer units. And as we know, rams, fantastic at soaking up that arrow fire, fantastic at causing those archer units a lot of troubles. Viper as well, building his first barracks now, and I'm expecting we'll see eagles. He's got tons of gold in the bank, so eagles could be flooding the map as soon as he gets in. But it's a little slow, I think, building this barracks. He's not actually started building too many of them yet, which is not ideal, I guess. He's going to want to get a good number out by the time he hits the Castle Age, so he can immediately just start, the Imperial Age, so we can immediately just start pumping him. But chainmail armor's coming in, so yeah, there's probably going to be eagles from him, and I guess we expected that, and it's basically, if he does go for rams as well, it's just every counter to archers you could think of. Don't forget though, Lojza here is still sitting on these 4 relics, and that's really going to be helping him out in the long run. That relic gold's going to be ticking over and coming through, piling up in his coffers. He's going to be pretty happy about that. Looking at the market then, not too much resource bought, actually, at the end of the day. I actually thought Viper might have bought a bit of food when I saw his food spike, but no, that's just handcart and wheelbarrow doing its magic. Castle from Viper on this right side as well, and that's actually pretty solid position, I suppose. I mean, he's going to be able to protect that gold on the right side, and that's the closest gold to his base that's outside the walls, so I think that's a good location for that. And it looks like he's actually going onager here. He's not going for rams, he's doing onager, which actually, I don't know, I think, well, obviously onager's also a good counter to crossbow units and archer units, but I kind of expected to see rams because he could just brute force his way forwards and just, push through into Lojza's base and, spearhead an attack. If Lojza's building defensive castles like he is, onagers are not going to be so effective there. The castles are going to be able to stop them in their tracks, since as soon as the mangonels and the onagers get in range, the castles are going to destroy them very quickly. Either way, Viper's pushing out now, and it looks like, yeah, with plate mail armor coming in, is he going for eagles, or will he go down the swordsman line? Certainly seems like eagles right now, as he starts making a few, but his food income, or his food is pretty low at the moment, but he's prioritizing siege onager. Okay, I like that a lot. We can get behind some siege onagers, can't we, guys? Of course we can. Viper's actually doing longsword, so he's not going down eagle line, which is probably actually a good idea, until you consider that Lojza is going to have a lot of arbalest out very soon. So obviously in this situation we've got Lojza doing two-handed swordsman into champion. He's going to be doing arbalest. That's good. Arbalest is done. Arbalest is going to be fantastic at dealing with the champions from Viper. However, with the siege onagers coming out, those arbalest I'm expecting to see very flat very, very soon. And ultimately, the Aztecs are going to get the advantage in an all-out infantry war, because Garland Wars it's going to give them a huge amount of extra attack, 4 extra attack. And, Britain champions, they get all of the upgrades. They are fairly decent, but they're not as good as Aztecs. And so, ultimately, if it comes down to doing champions versus champions, you can bet your ass that Viper's going to come out on top there. But he's obviously well aware that these arbalest are probably going to be a threat to his champs, and he's doing siege onagers to counter that. So I'm expecting to see, like I say, a lot of flattened arbalest very soon as Viper's siege onager upgrade is complete. I was kind of just thinking, though, that rams, I guess, either or. But for me, I think rams would have been nice, because you could have just spearheaded and attacked straight in. The rams would have been able to soak up the arbalest fire, and then his eagles or his champions would have been able to do a lot of damage as well. He's actually switching into eagles now, as he does elite eagle warrior. Champions on the way for Lojza at the moment. Interesting that he's going for eagles, though. We'll see how that one goes down for him in just a minute. Looks like Viper's going to lose this Treb. Oh, he's bringing in some vills to repair, but I think that Treb's probably a goner. Whatever way you look at that, that's down. And Lojza here Oh, whoa, okay. Looks like Lojza was going to have it. Viper threatened him with a siege onager for a second, and Lojza went back because he didn't want to get some fiery hot lava on his face. That's what I like to think of it as, hot lava. Viper, more siege onagers on the left side. Siege engineers are done, so he's got 8+1 range, and Viper's now pushing out with the elite eagles. Oh, this is going to be pretty nasty if Lojza's caught out in the open. He's got to back himself into a corner. He's got to support this with some champs, and it seems like he's going to try and bring those champs in now. At the moment, Viper's like doing every upgrade in the world. A little bit of everything coming in. Worth noting though for Lojza here, Yeoman is done, so a ton of range on these Arbalest. 11 range, and with 11 range, he might be looking to snipe those onagers. And it's worth noting that when you're dealing with the Britons here, although yes, onagers are a counter to archer units, the Briton sheer range of those Arbalest can pick those onagers off from a long way away. So Viper is going into rams now. He's doing capped ram, and he doesn't have the food right now to do siege ram. He needs a lot more food to do that upgrade. But like I said, I think he should have just done Siege Ram from the start, to be honest with you. Siege Ram and Eagles, that's what I said right at the start here. And that's what he's now actually building into, with Two-Handed Swordsman coming in as well. Garland Wars, though, just about to complete. And I think once Viper's got those upgrades done, once Viper is fully upgraded, he's in a position then when he can maybe push out and start pushing Lojza back. But Lojza's having a great game right now. He's got Viper inside of his base. That's where he wants to keep him. And he's taking the additional resources on the map, or we will be very soon, with this castle on the right side covering this gold. Nice play by Lojza so far. And Viper here hasn't really been able to utilize these eagles too well yet. He's not been able to hit Lojza's economy with some raiding. You know, he's now pushed away from this gold. So much for that castle protecting the gold. It doesn't do so much protection when the Arbalest outrange the castle, do they? Obviously, Viper here doesn't have fletching, bodkin arrow, or bracer, so this castle with 8 range and the Arbalest with 11. Pretty crazy stuff. That castle getting hit hard by the Treb on the right side, and Viper's not got a single Treb out to push this back. Honestly, these siege onagers, they almost feel less than useless at the moment. He's still making some. Fair enough. But I don't know. He's going to have a hard time, I think, doing too much with them right now. We'll see. We'll see. If he's got enough of them, Lojza can't out-micro and get out the way, I suppose. But he's going to get back. And this is the thing as well. That not only do these guys have insane range, but they can see further as well. So, you know, these Arbalest, they can see further. They're going to see these onagers coming. But here's the fight. This is the one. Viper's positioning is fantastic. He's coming around the back with the eagles. His onagers on the front, flattening a lot of champions right there. He's going to get the upper hand, of course. 13+8 attack versus 13+2. His champions absolutely outclass that of Lojza's. But Lojza here getting caught out by the eagles as well. The eagles chasing down his Treb. And what a fantastic engagement for the Viper there, especially with these eagles on the left side, bringing them right around so that he could catch the archers on the back whilst his onagers and his champions cleaned up those of Lojza. A perfectly timed attack, and he bided his time. And like I said, he was just waiting for those upgrades. He was waiting for Garland Wars. He was waiting for a little bit of everything to get done. And now he's doing Siege Ram as well. I foresee, rather, Lojza being in a lot of trouble very soon as Viper pushes out, aims to take this castle down. Worth noting though, Lojza's gone ahead and doing longbow right now. And I mean, these could be a real pain in the butt to deal with. We're not just 11 range, but now 12. Not just 6 attack, but now 7. So the longbows might be a little problem, but you've got to bear in mind, guys, longbows are incredibly slow to mass. They take forever to build. They're pretty expensive. They're slow to move as well. And the maneuverability of the Elite Eagle here is going to absolutely... If Viper does a similar play, it catches those archers on the retreat, he's going to do a lot of damage there as well. The onagers here, not so much, I guess, to deal with the archers, but to deal with more the infantry. Not that he necessarily needs to deal with that since his champions are better anyway. So Lojza is fully upgraded with his champions now. His archer units are fully upgraded as well, it seems. And now we're just getting down to the smaller techs, or the techs that are going to have a little less impact. Masonry coming in for Lojza to obviously buff this castle a bit. It's probably going to be a little late though, since this castle is going to go down. Masonry just finishing, but the castle's down anyway, and Viper there gonna be able to clean that up. His ram's going forwards a little late. Thank you very much, Mozinator, for donating $2. He said, congrats, it's over 1,000. Wow, really? That's awesome. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Much appreciated. You've tuned in at the right time. This is a sick game right here between Viper and Lojza, and up until now, Lojza's looked really, really great, and he still looks pretty solid. But it's now coming down to the point where both of these guys are post-Imperial, and the sheer strength of the Aztecs is going to start to show, I feel. So Siege Rams coming forwards, and I mean, these archers can't do shit against the Rams, but Lojza's microing them. He's managed to pick off some of the onagers, and these Rams here are toast to the champs. I really wish Viper had gone for Rams straight away. Maybe it wasn't, well, he knows what he's doing, obviously, but I just feel like that would have been nice to see him do that and push forwards as soon as he hit Imp. But right now, I mean, he's probably just playing it safer by playing a little more passive and just getting all the techs that he needs. He's also now starting to upgrade skirms. He's going for some skirmishers here. Obviously, you need that backup plan. Gold isn't going to last forever. And whilst he has got control of these gold piles on the right side, which is probably a little more than Lojza has at the moment, Viper is certainly planning his strats for the later stages of the game, with Bracer now being done as well. So I think he's pretty much done every single blacksmith upgrade that's available to him. He's done all the defense, all the attack upgrades, pretty much everything. Obviously they don't get the cavalry upgrades, so it's simple. He's got a bit of everything right here, but still unable to really get a lot of momentum. He's pushed right back to his base again, and he's now going to have to execute another good fight. He's going to have to get another good fight under his belt here as he waits and waits and waits. Population-wise, they're both pretty much pop blocked out. Lojza here with 200 pop, Viper with 192, so pretty much identical at the moment, and it looks like he's utilizing his eagles again. Obviously try and get them towards this siege and towards the archers. This on the right side is not going too well for Lojza, I think. Viper's champs with that extra +4 attack getting the upper hand. The eagles here aiming to take down the Trebs though, and doing a quick job of that, and then getting out before those champions can chase them down. And that of course is the beauty of the Eagle Warriors, the speed at which they can get in there, hit and run. And he's just so good with these units. He's absolutely got every penny's worth out of them. But yeah, Viper here, quite a lot of skirms out, which is interesting because against the Britons, skirmishes are not that effective. If you're getting killed off from 12 tiles away and your range is 8, your skirms are still gonna die. Whether or not they counter archers, they're still gonna die because they just can't get in range. These guys still pack quite a punch. There's a lot of longbows out for Lojza now, and he's doing a great job of keeping them alive, actually avoiding the eagles that time. And Rams coming in, soaking up a lot of the arrow fire, but Lojza's champions able to chase them down here and find a few kills as well. Is Viper going to be able to push out? We'll find out in just a sec as he cleans up these forward champions. There's pretty much only archer units left, so if Viper pushes now with his Rams in front, this could be pretty solid. Obviously, Siege Onagers coming in as well. That Treb looking a little bit close to death for comfort. And Onagers at the back here, focused down by those few rogue champions that Lojza has left over. Lojza's playing a really nice game, but there go the Rams. And the champions are now forced to fight the Rams, really. If they don't fight the Rams, then Lojza will just end up getting pushed back. These elite skirms at the back here as well, just hammering into the champs. Sure, they're not the strongest unit in the game, but the sheer numbers allowing them to actually take these champions down fairly comfortably, it seems. And Viper looks like he might just be shifting the momentum of this battle into his favor right here, as he gains about 14 additional units on the field. at the moment. Lojza, though, I mean, he's still looking great. He's still got a lot of map control. He's still got all this out on the left side here, but it does look like his golds ran out. Well, not actual gold, but his gold piles. He's got no gold piles left. He's not taking any gold anymore. But do you remember what we said right at the start of this game? Those 4 relics are going to be helping Lojza right now. And yeah, he's still got 1,600 gold in the bank. That's not the issue. But as the game goes on, that relic gold is going to keep coming in, and that relic gold has probably already contributed about 1,000 gold to his economy so far this game. Viper, he's down on 366 gold, and bear in mind that, you know, making those siege onagers was not cheap. That's an expensive upgrade, one of the most expensive upgrades in the game, and Viper here, I mean, he's done so many technologies in this game. You know, he's done all of the infantry attack and defense upgrades. He's done all of the archer attack, not the last defense upgrade, but he's done so many upgrades here. He's upgraded a little bit of everything. He's spent a lot of gold, and he really doesn't have too much left. Though we need to check the markets to see if there's been a lot of selling going on, and yes, there has. Viper here selling more resources than Lojza as well, and that means that the market prices are going to be pretty low on food and wood at the moment. This is a really, really solid game from Lojza at the moment. Light cavalry coming in for him now as well. And just look at how quickly he obliterates those skirms on the right side with his champions here. Viper, what's happened, man? What's happened? Well, on the left side, he's launching an attack. He's cleaning out these buildings over here. But he looks like he's just absolutely ran out of steam on this right-hand side. The Trebs at the back for Lojza deploying on this castle. And Longbow's support, of course, just going to absolutely obliterate any units that come close at this stage. Viper, a small victory on the left as he cleans out these buildings, and he's still got a little gold income here on this right side with a single villager taking the final gold mine. I think what comes next is going to be interesting. I mean, there might be a fight for this gold on the right side. Lojza is not going to be too bothered about that since he's got 6 times the gold of Viper right now, and he's continuing to push forwards. Viper now, if he runs out of gold, is going to be relying on pikemen and skirms. He can't upgrade to Halb. And bear in mind, champions here are going to be so good at taking out trash. They are going to take out the trash. And Lojza, he can afford a lot of champions right now. He's got so much gold for champions. Champions are dirt cheap, 20 gold a pop, and they will tear through pikemen all day long, and they will, if they get into the ranks of the skirms, tear through them as well. Viper's throwing up more archery ranges. He's spamming those skirms all day long. The pikemen here, obviously going to be great for the light cavalry, but the light cavs probably want to focus on these skirms. Lojza's Trebs standing strong. Norton here, well, standing strong. He had like 1 HP left, but he's still standing. One is. And the 2 Trebs from Viper going down, that castle going down again. And these longbows have been untouched this game. They've been untouched. The amazing thing right here is that Viper has more kills at this stage. He's got 417 kills in the bank, whereas Lojza's got 364 kills. But I think that's going to turn around now, as Viper's forced to make a lot of trash. He's not really got any gold units coming out, aside from the occasional ram. And the rams at this point shouldn't be too difficult to deal with the champions being in here, with the light cavalry being in here as well. Oh, this trap's going to go down, though, and that's kind of costly. But yeah, Lojza, 4 relics, Viper none. And Viper's attack on this left side still going pretty well, actually. He's kind of split pushing here. I'm surprised that he's managed to push Lojza back on the right side after that fantastic start from Lojza. And there you go, the fight for the gold on the right side coming in as well. On the left side, yeah, I mean, Viper's just cleaned out these buildings. He took his time with that. Ram still alive, and Lojza, I think, trying to focus down on the rams. This castle here, about to go down. Lojza's masonry helping things there a little bit to delay this attack, but this is huge. Viper could clean out these farms, and as you can see, Lojza's trying to farm a lot, and he's got very little food left. He's making champions, he's making light cavalry. That's costly on the food front. And Lojza now as well, with just a single castle left. And you know what that means? No longbow production. He's got 1 castle to make longbows from. Fortunately, he's kept his longbows alive so far this game. And Viper now with the trash units on the left side, cleaning out these villagers. And Lojza really looking like he's losing a lot of map control. But if he can win this fight on the right side, he might be able to push this back. Lojza still has the advantage in military count. He still has the villager advantage. So he's got the military, he's got the economy. He just needs to choose the right fights to take, and he needs to take the fights well. At the moment, Viper has just been winning most of the battles, but I think that's about to change as these champions close the gap towards these skirms now. And if they get a surround on them, I imagine if the skirms don't get out quickly, they will get destroyed. 2 siege workshops on the front for Lojza here. He might go for some rams in a minute. I know he's done capped ram already, and look at those champs absolutely tearing through those units. And Viper here, as quickly as he's losing them, he is still replenishing them. I believe he's got a lot of units queued up at these ranges, a lot at the barracks as well. But falling right back now towards this castle. Lojza seemingly defending that left side for the time being, but Viper pushing back out there now. And this fight on the right for the gold is not going too well for Viper anymore. These 2 villagers are about to go down. And what a great game, though. What a great game. I think for the first time in a little while now, Lojza about to take the score lead, which is a pretty big milestone after being behind in the score for a long while, building out in the front with some stables. He's got a lot of food now in the bank. Obviously, all that farming starting to pay off, I suppose. And with all that food, he may as well spam out like calves, since obviously there's a lot of skirms out for Viper here as well. Looks like Lojza from this position, I mean, he should be able to take this game, in my opinion. I do feel like Lojza should be able to take this game. It all depends, I guess, on whether or not Viper can keep this raiding up and avert Lojza's attention from the front here. These villagers dying pretty quickly. Obviously, only as skirms and pikes, but when they've got 4+8 attack and 3+4 attack, they're still going to do quite a bit of damage to the villagers very quickly. But yeah, I feel like Lojza should have this game now. He should have it, but we'll see. I mean, we're talking about the Viper here. Viper's on full trash. Lojza's still making gold units. So, in theory, Lojza should be comfortable, but we'll see. He's not really making too many more longbows. These longbows that he's got here have been alive for like 40 minutes of game time, probably. Something ridiculous. Viper now coming forwards with some siege rams now, looking to clean up these buildings. Lojza's got some rams of his own in here. A lot of cavalry queued up, light cavalry for days. And if he can come in on the flank and catch these elite skirms out, that would be huge. But I can't tell you how much these longbows are helping Lojza out here. Just from the back, miles out of reach. And there's absolutely no way that Viper can even get to them. So they're just sitting at the back, just firing volley of arrow after another. And every time Viper pushes into Lojza, he's like, it's like punching a brick wall. You just can't push into him right now. So I think Lojza, once he finds an opportunity to launch a good attack, Viper's got to, just has to break here, I feel. On the right side, he's still trying to take that gold. This gold's still quite a bit left, actually. There's about 1,400, 1,800 gold there. And Lojza holding that down, finding more villagers from the Viper there as he goes. And yeah, I mean, that's a lot of champions. And this is where champions really shine, I suppose, when they're just dealing with trash and they are so cheap on the gold, and Lojza can afford them. He's coming forwards, he's pushing this forwards, and imagine now if Lojza had some onagers out, that would be insane, but a little too expensive, I guess, for him to do at this stage. Viper falling back once again to his castle, and it's been really back and forth here. It's been really back and forth, but now Lojza's got the rams out. I'm starting to think if he can tear through these buildings, he can absolutely sever Viper's military production, and I think it's probably going to be GG fairly soon. But let's not underestimate Viper here. He's still raiding at the back of the map, and yeah, he is behind in villages right now, but he is still trying to raid. He's still trying to catch or hinder Lojza's eco. But Lojza's a lot of food in the bank, a lot of wood. Viper's still got a lot of food and wood, but if he loses his military production buildings, doesn't matter. You can have all the food and all the wood in the world, but if you don't have a means to spend it, it doesn't matter anymore. These buildings probably going to go down pretty quickly as these rams deploy. Viper's still defending at his castle though, and this is a problem now, because this castle will be doing a lot of damage in here to these light cavalry, to all of the champions and stuff that push in. And it looks like Lojza losing a lot of units in that fight. back of the map. He's still raiding, and on the right side now, Lojza taking that gold, and that could be huge, as Lojza here, not only with 4 relics now, but with this gold pile on the right side, another 1,000 gold coming his way very soon. Viper squeezing out another Siege Onager, but oh dear, that's going to go down pretty quickly. No defense there for that. That's wasted. Oh, whoa, 4 HP. That's Pikeman coming in and spearing that light cavalry in the side there. Alright, so it looks like the game's been paused. One of these guys pausing the game for a moment. Possibly the Viper. I think a lot of people in the chat cheering for Lojza here. There we go, a game unpaused now. And I think a lot of people cheering for Lojza. Now the thing is, if the Aztecs were the ones with the 4 relics, this would be a whole different story, because the Aztec relic gold bonus, coupled with the fact that you've got 4 relics there, would put the Aztecs in a fantastic position. They'd be able to use their gold units, they'd be able to pull an advantage. But the simple fact is, Lojza's got the gold right now, and Viper does not, and gold is most certainly king in this situation, it seems. At the back of the map, it seems like Viper's been cleaned up now as well, and he's got 3 spears back here, or 3 pikes, but sending another group of units in. And I like the fact he's doing this. I like that he's continuing to try and send units forward. But once again, another fight on the right side. These longbows still alive, but a Siege Onager in here for Viper now. Is he likely to get these longbows? I highly doubt it, but he might cause some trouble with these guys. We'll see. I mean, to the infantry, if they get caught out, they're going to go down very quickly, and also the rams as well. Siege Onagers, of course, mangonels, Onagers, Siege Onagers, great for dealing with rams when they're stationary. But yeah, Viper's pushed back out again. The trash keeping him in this game, and I like that Viper doesn't just give up, you know. He knows that things are not going too well for him. He knows that Lojza's probably got the advantage, but he's still playing on. He's still looking to find the victory, and you never know, it could still happen. Some magic could just happen. This Onager going down, and Lojza here needs to focus on the next one now as well, otherwise it could catch him completely off guard. A big Onager shot at the back, and whoa, about 10 longbows going down. Sloppy play from Lojza there, and with that shot, Viper retakes the score lead. That was huge. That was huge. The Onager turning things around pretty quickly in that little fight there. And this is the problem for Lojza now. This whole time, the reason why Viper couldn't really push into him was because the longbows holding it down. And suddenly he managed to get that big shot. Lojza's down to, what, 3, 6, 9 longbows. He's got a few more queued up, but he's only got 1 castle left. Still, he's got more gold. He's got a lot more gold, and he's got a little bit more where that came from. About 50 left on that gold mine before it's mined out. But Lojza right now down to 150 population. Viper at 192. He's population capped. He's rebuilding these buildings on the right-hand side. And it looks like Lojza, with this raiding at the back and with this aggression on the front, I don't think he can get the units out. I don't think he's got the production at the moment. He's queuing light cavalry like crazy. But not a huge amount of champions coming out right now. These barracks are mostly idle. Archery ranges, idle. Siege workshops, idle. And maybe Viper can pull this off. We'll see. Left side, though, all this is still unavailable to Lojza now. These units here trying to bust their way in and avert, like I said earlier, Lojza's attention, trying to bring him to the back of his base here and make him focus on that. Viper probably aborting building these buildings out on the right side, as Lojza manages to push him back once again. And Lojza now, I think, getting a few more elite longbows out, so he's able to regain some of those numbers a little bit here. And like I say, if he can keep those longbow numbers up and avoid the onagers, Viper, every time he pushes out, is pushing into a brick wall. But on the left side, still raiding away. The villager count for both of them very, very even at the moment. 101 villas for Viper, 106 for Lojza. And Lojza with a couple more idols as Viper keeps launching these attacks on the left side. On the right side now, he's managed to clean up these champions nearly. If he can stop the champions, then obviously you can send the rams forward and focus then on these archer units at the back. But that's the problem with the Brits. The range is so hard to deal with, and that's where the Rams come in. Rams, of course, though, costing a little bit of gold, and Viper's probably spending all of his gold here on just making Rams and on siege at this stage of the game. But there you go, Rams coming forwards, maybe gonna be able to get a few of these kills in here now, whilst he still launches this attack on the left-hand side. The raiding at the back, there's one single pikeman left in here, and he's still trying to push forwards with a large number of units. And this is the thing, every time Lojza deals with the raid, he groups his units on the right side, and then Viper goes and raids again, and Lojza's got no units to defend, so then he has to either send units or pull units away to go and deal with that. At the moment, though, it's feeling pretty stalematey right now. The score's still flitting back and forth a little bit. Lojza getting the advantage, then Viper retaking it very quickly after that. Once again, Viper's going to lose this fight on the right side because he's got units out here on the left that are not contributing. So Viper's kind of trying to focus on like split pushing and trying to do it that way. Okay, alright, so here's his plan. This is his new plan. This is the master plan of the Viper here. He is going to go ahead and throw up a couple of siege workshops on the left side, a monastery with a monk coming out, and we know what that's for. This is time for the master plan of relic acquisition. He's going for it. What his plan is here, he's going to go for a relic bust. He needs those relics so much that he's going to throw out a couple of rams here. He's going to take out the monastery. He's going to have a few monks ready. He'll seize the relics and fall back. And if he can remove that gold from Lojza there, he might just be in a situation where he can get enough gold to win this game. Thank you very much to Please Giammi. Thank you for subscribing and becoming a Warlord. It is much appreciated, your support. Thank you for supporting the stream. And if you're a sub, let's see those Warlord hypes in the chat. So yeah, at the back of the map, Viper's raiding still going strong. Lojza, though, almost doesn't care, it seems. He's just still pushing forwards on the right side. He's not sending too much army back to deal with this. And Viper's Ram's coming in. The monk is right here as well. And he's going to go straight for the monastery. Alright, there's a couple of champions in here, but Lojza doesn't seem to notice. These guys are just on their way to their gather point right now. And Viper's going to take that monastery down. Now, this is huge, because not only now has Lojza lost the relics, Viper he lost his monk, so he's not going to be able to go and get one either. But it's better having your opponent having no relics than having 4. And so even if he loses his monk and wasn't able to take one, the relic gold is no longer there for Lojza, and now his gold is stuck. It is stuck. It is at 43. And it is not going to get any higher. At the back of the map, these skirms in here, finding a lot of villagers in this area. Lojza down to 74 villager units, whereas Viper's now on 85. Both of them losing a few. I think Viper may be deleting some. I don't think there was too much raiding from Lojza. I didn't see much. I know some light cavalry came in. Light cavalry from Lojza actually making their way into the back of Viper's base, which I seemingly missed earlier on. Apologies for that. But yeah, the relics there down, and Lojza now trying to rebuild his monastery. He's got to be able to get that monastery up. He's got to get a monk out. And how is Lojza going to afford a monk? Well, he's going to have to sell some resources at the market. How many resources does he have to sell? Not a lot. He's got 300 food and 200 wood, and his resource income has been really hurt now by Viper's raiding. He's still making a few villages here and there. But Viper's pushing out on the front. He's looking very good. There's no longbows left for Lojza now, it seems. And I don't think Viper's going to let Lojza take these monks, take these relics back easily either. And Lojza calling GG. What a game. He's calling it right there. And what looked like an absolute case closed game for Lojza has suddenly been turned around. And Viper, with that play on the left side, taking out the relics from Lojza, being able to raid at the back with the skirmishers, being able to push out now on the right side and clean up those longbows. Who got the win? Viper got the win, and that was an unbelievable game. Well played. All I can say on that one is well played by Lojza, really. He played that one so well. He played that so well. Because although Viper won that game, that was what we expected to see, right? We expected Viper to win that game. He was playing the Aztecs against the Britons. The Aztecs should have won that game anyway. Based on the Civ, they should have won that game. Based on the fact it's the Viper, he should have won that game. But for Lojza to get so close and be able to inflict so much damage to the point where if this castle hadn't have been there, Lojza probably would have won the game, in my opinion. That's really, really good for him and incredibly, incredibly well played. So what I want to do now is I want to have a quick look at these achievements and have a quick look. Excuse the little bugginess in the background there. It's a little bit glitchy, but we'll just have a quick look at the achievements here just to see how much relic gold was gained. Lojza with 7,400 relic gold. That's a lot of relic gold. Viper with 2,600, and he only had one relic. So that just goes to show how much that relic gold bonus for the Aztecs comes into play there. And if it had been the other way around, like I said, if it was 4 relics to Viper and 1 to Lojza, that would have been a completely different story. The very fact that Lojza there played aggressively in the Castle Age to prevent Viper getting the relics allowed him to play that game as well as he did. Lojza at the end, yeah, getting a few more kills. It was pretty close in the KD at the end there as well. And having a quick look at the economy, Lojza almost across the board with the most resources also. Unfortunately though, it wasn't enough for him, and Viper still manages to pull a victory somehow, magically. Jeez, man, what a game, what a game. Awesome, awesome stuff. And of course now, we're going to go ahead and get into game number 3. We'll put the point on the board for Viper here, 2-0 to him. And one more game, at least one more game. If Lojza wins this next game, then there is an opportunity to draw. If Viper wins this next game, then there's a guaranteed win, of course, for him, since this is a best of 4 series. So one more game to come at the very least. Thank you all very much for tuning in. It's much appreciated, of course. Don't forget to follow the stream if you want to see more Age of Empires 2 action, because this is round 1 of the event. We've got 11 rounds in this round robin tournament. 11 rounds. This is round 1, and it's been so good so far. The games we've seen so far have been phenomenal, to say the least. So game number 3 about to get started in just a moment. The game is being launched up right now. To be honest with you guys, I'm so impressed by Lojza in these games. Lojza is playing so well. He's been playing so nicely. And honestly, I just can't express how well Lojza is doing. Even though he's down 2-0, this guy is going to do well this tournament. I can feel it. I think a lot of people are going to be supporting Lojza here as well, because, you know, I mean, everyone likes to support the underdog, of course. As much love as Viper gets, as many fanboys out there as he has got, of course, Lojza going to have a few fans as well. So game 3 about to get started. Game 3, by the way, is going to be Viper's home map. And I don't know what he's going to choose. I expect he's going to throw something a little bit weird out there. I don't know. We'll see. It might be Arabia, since he is a very fast player. He can play on land very, very well. So perhaps Arabia. Maybe it's going to be an Arabia-Aztec war. Perhaps it would be a water map, in which case it will be a Viking war. But I expect we'll see something along those lines. But who knows? I mean, Viper could just throw a curveball in here and like say, yeah, let's play Mediterranean or something. Like, he could do that. The home map pool, by the way, are all of the standard maps in AOC, excluding Nomad. So we'll find out in just a few seconds, because the game is literally about to start. I need to actually very quickly. Oh god, no! Can I do this here? DirectX. Resolution, command bar position, left. There we go. I've done it. Yeah, awesome. I changed the command bar position. We should be back to normal with the mini-map in the center of the screen now, which is how it was supposed to be. All right, then. So here we go. Game number 3 about to get started in just a second's time. All right, here it is. And why does it do this? The music. Every time music comes back on for some reason. It's very strange. Alrighty then. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the Empire Collective Cup. Game number 3 between Viper and Lojza in the Round 1 Platinum League. What a fantastic couple of games we've had so far, especially game number 2. And we're going now into game number 3, which is Viper's home map, and he has chosen to play on Team Islands, which means, of course, this is going to be a Viking war, and this is going to be, I think, a very, very tough game for Lojza here, because, you know, water maps are very cut and dry. It's about following the build order, the meta, as closely as possible, and Viper is going to be very well equipped to do that. He's just an all-round, very well experienced player. And although we saw Lojza play very well in that first game on the water at the start, you've got to take into consideration that it was non-mirror civs. Now it's a Viking war. Everything is even in terms of civs and Team Islands as well. So obviously going to be very important to get a grush going as fast as possible. But there is also very much a possibility for a landing, since this map is, well, has a lot of land mass, you know, 2 massive islands and plenty of opportunities for landing attempts, which we could see Lojza attempt. I mean, Lojza in that first game, even though he won the water initially, or he looked like he was going to win the water initially, he still went for a landing, and that could be an indicator that he might try and do something similar in this one. So anyway, over to the left of the map in the red, surprisingly, usually playing in the yellow, of course, we have the Viper, and he's playing, of course, as the Vikings. On the right side of the map in the green, we have Lojza, and he is, of course, playing as the Vikings as well. Viper right now bringing in his first ball, using his scout to lure that in. Lojza 1 step ahead though, already getting that first ball under the TC, and going now to go and collect the second ball with his scout cavalry as well. And this is really the sign of a good player here. Taking the ball with your scout, minimizing villager idle time as much as possible, and obviously allowing you to get the fastest possible feudal time. Both of these players docking at near identical times as well. Viper, fraction of a second ahead there, and like I say, the build order is going to be very, very similar, very close, right up until the point where one player seems to be winning the water. It's at that point, as soon as one player starts getting the upper hand on the water, that's when the other player needs to react, either by going all out and adding more docks, or trying for a landing. To be honest with you, I need to chat off here. To be honest with you, the water maps we've seen so far, when it has been a Viking war, we've actually had some really nice water maps. And I know that a lot of people like to complain that, oh, it's just, you know, it's a Viking war and water again. Look on the bright side, at least it's Team Islands, and at least we've had some insane water maps so far this event. And, you know, we can't exclude water from this event as well, because water is a really big part of AOC, and I know a Grush Galley build order is, a build order is very much like just follow it to the letter. I still think it's important that it's included in there, because this tournament, this league, is designed to give us or show us who really are the best players in the world at the end of it. So hopefully, we'll have a great game here as well. I have no doubt that we will. So also thank you very much to Search Engine Revs, of course, for sponsoring this event. We have a $2,500 prize pool, of which $1,000 was provided by Search Engine Revs. They're an SEO company that provide SEO services for basically anyone. You want some SEO? Go to searchenginerevs.com, and those guys will help you out. They're a really nice bunch of guys, and if you want any more information about them, then you can check them out below the stream or below the YouTube VOD. So right now, both of these guys completely neck and neck. Viper up 7 minutes 27. Lojza up 7 minutes 29. And this is a live game. Yeah, this is completely live right about now. So very close. Both of them out with 4 fishing ships. Both of them up to the feudal age. Both of them about to be going for their second dock, I imagine. Though saying that, saying that, Viper's a little later on his second dock here, but he should be. In fact, that is actually quite late in comparison to Lojza. I don't think it's going to have too much impact, but if that dock is delayed enough that Fuel Age upgrade comes in first, Lojza might just be able to squeeze out that galley a bit faster and start taking an early advantage here on the water. I think it's going to be close. Viper's probably... Yeah, look at that. The dock slightly delayed. It's really not that big of a deal, but the fact that that was delayed slightly could be an indication that Lojza might be on very top form here. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, 2 galleys coming out for both, of course, and with the fishing ships being so close together, because, you know, it's very, very common to see players forward docking on this map, usually better fishing in the middle of the map. Someone wants me to confirm if Lojza has 2 more gold piles than the Viper. We'll check that now. Okay, let's have a quick look. 1, 2... 3, 4. He's got 5 gold piles. And Viper has... Whoa, that's pretty bugged gold right there, actually, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's really... that's a really good point, actually. It does look like Viper hasn't got as much gold. And that could actually really screw him over. That could really, really screw him over if this game goes to the late game and Viper gets caught out by that. That's the thing, like... A lot of the time, you don't know the map is bugged, or if it is bugged, until too late. And so, there's not a lot you can do about it. It's just a case of AoE being AoE, random map generation. The chances are, the game won't go that long, that it won't go so long, that the extra gold will be required. Anyway, on the water in the middle of the map, Lojza here, taking out these fishing ships. A great start for him. Viper losing them very quickly. And Viper now chasing Lojza's fishing ships away. Let's just call it a handicap for Lojza, I guess. But yeah, Lojza here taking out those fishing ships. That's a pretty big deal. Viper down to 0 fish. Lojza here with 4, but he is having to run them away. So obviously... Lojza unable to fish, Viper unable to fish, and that could mean that food income is suddenly a bit of a problem. Both of these guys now going to have an idle town center, which is obviously less than ideal, but it is affecting both of them equally. Viper at the moment, 10 military versus Lojza's 8, but he is outnumbered in this fight until he could bring those reinforcements in, and now of course he'll push that away. Viper at the moment, off to a good start in terms of military. Losing those fishing ships though was certainly less than ideal, and both of these guys struggling to keep villager production going. Lojza now no sheep under the TC, whereas Viper still has 2 sheep remaining. So Viper there earlier in the game, you may have noticed, was luring deer from out here. He lured a deer in. As a result, he's got more sheep left under the TC now, and he can safely take that food and keep his TC working a bit more than Lojza can, who's forced onto berries with 6 villagers. This TC is going to be idling quite a lot, I feel, and Viper going to be pulling ahead in villager count now very, very shortly. I think Viper's going to be up to maybe 28 vills by the time Lojza manages to squeeze another out, possibly. But actually, I am wrong. I am very wrong, because Viper, instead of squeezing that extra villager out, Viper instead is doing fletching, and that could be huge because now he's got +1 attack, he's got +1 range, and he's got 3 extra galleys out, which is huge. So he's got more damage, he's got more range, which makes it easier to micro, he's got more galleys, and there's no way that Lojza here is going to be getting fletching now. His TC is still idle, and he hasn't built a blacksmith. There's no blacksmith for Lojza. So where's the blacksmith, man? He's got so much wood in the bank, he's not building it at all, and now there it is. Okay, the blacksmith coming up at the back, but how long was his TC idle for? Too long. Way too long. So this advantage of fletching for Viper here is pretty huge. He can push Lojza around a little bit, and he can come and hit these docks right now as well if he wants. Lojza though at the top, bringing his fishing ships around. He's obviously still kept them alive, so he could put them back to use, but I don't think Viper's going to let him get away with that too easily. And oh, there you go, fishing ships. Maybe, yeah, he's going to go get a couple of fishing ships here while he can. And, well, so much for that, Lojza. So much for that. Fletching coming in for Lojza, though, but there's a lot of low HP galleys here for Lojza. Viper's galleys, they're quite low on HP as well, some of them. It looks fairly close, to be honest with you. but Viper's still keeping the military advantage here. Both of them on 4 docks, and as once one of these guys starts to get a clear advantage, once one of them starts to get a very solid advantage, the other is going to be forced to do something to kind of catch up, or do something a little off the wall to make it or bring it even. But Viper here looking solid, like I say. His micro is fantastic as always, and he's able to pick a couple of galleys out without losing too many of his own, which is obviously the idea of micro in the first place. 4 farms up at the home for Viper, just 1 for Lojza, and still, I don't know, I mean, his food income is really not looking strong, and, you know, it might not be affecting his villager production now. He might still be able to keep that ticking over, but at the moment, Viper's getting a big advantage here, 6 extra galleys, and with the farms up at home, he should also, at this stage, be able to pull a faster castle time as well, since his food income seems a lot more consistent, a lot more solid. So, Viper, 8 extra galleys on the water now, and Lojza has to either take some very good fights, or pull something out of his boot. Do something a little bit crazy, perhaps. Maybe a 5th dock. It would be pretty difficult. Maybe he's going to have to try and go castle a little faster. But whatever he does here, he has to be very careful not to throw too many of these galleys away and lose the water for good. You know, he could try a landing, but that would be really risky at this stage. And Viper at this stage senses as well. He senses that he's ahead. He knows that he's got the advantage here. He knows he's on his way to perhaps going 3-0 at this point in time. This is his home map. He's got every reason to feel confident as well. Still, the micro war goes on, and it amazes me. Like, I just can't get my head around how these guys do it. How do they micro like this? How do they manage to pay so much attention to their military while still keeping their eco so strong back at home? So right now, Viper's about 120 food ahead of Lojza, and he's looking like, there you go, with a little bit of magic at the market, selling his stone, buying some food. Viper's going to be castle in just a second's time. About 22 minutes, 30 seconds, Viper will be clicking up, and that's going to be insane, because not only is he now clicking up to castle sooner, but he's still keeping the advantage on the water. 12 food away. Lojza, meanwhile, no market for him, so he can't use the market to buy any food. The market is coming up, but there's not enough food there. Viper's already sold the stone, so Lojza's not going to get such a good deal. And there's that Castle Age upgrade coming in. So Viper doing a little bit of magic there. And basically, well, I think it's probably about 80-20, 80% chance now that he's going to close this game out once he gets to the Castle Age. And War Galley comes in. He can focus on bringing down these docks. He can strong arm Lojza around, and he's adding in the 5th dock now as well. It's just a solid water build. It's a solid water play from him. And Lojza's still 8 galleys down. It's going to get even worse for Lojza in a minute, because as this 5th dock comes in, Viper's production is going to get even higher. And Viper here probably not going to be bothered with the second or third TC. No reason to be bothered about that. Winning the water is going to be pretty much everything at this stage. So Viper here looking very, very strong. Lojza still hasn't clicked up to the Castle Age. He could buy some food. He could sell some of that stone. But like I said, he's not going to get such a good deal. That's a lot of villagers on gold there. So it looks like he wants to utilize the market. Because, you know, building farms, that costs wood. He needs that for the boats. So taking gold, yeah, he can go ahead and buy the food. And he has done that. He's sold stone. He's buying food. But he's going to realize in just a second just how far behind he really is. There's Viper up to the Castle Age, and there you go. Lojza's calling GG, closing it out. Like I say, expected. And Lojza there in the chat, his last remark on that game: your ships are immortal. Well, it certainly does seem that way, doesn't it? When you've got Viper's 2K4 micro going on. Just, yeah. Fantastic play from him. It was meta to the letter. And Viper closing that game out as soon as he got to the Castle Age, which we expected, really, didn't we? We knew how far behind Lojza was. We knew that his food income there was just too far off the mark. And the thing is, as well, I think Lojza here, he had too much wood in the bank. So if he'd have just gone for a couple more farms sooner. He could have got to the Castle Age sooner as well. Viper here didn't have too many farms out, but obviously he just had a better transition into food. He was, I think he had a little bit of less villager idle time as well. In actual fact, Viper idled his TC a lot. 37 vills versus Lojza's 45 at the end there, which says that Viper did idle his TC a bit for a faster castle time. But it just goes to show just how important the Castle Age upgrade is when it comes to a water war like this. And not to mention the micromanagement, allowing his ships to stay alive for so long in the face of his enemy. So Viper gonna grab the series 3-0. What a great set of games though. Lojza, I think he's gonna do very well this tournament. He has obviously shown that he is more than capable of taking down the best. Obviously not taking down the Viper, but he's certainly got the potential to take down some big opponents this game. And I think he's going to do well. I really do. Viper, of course, well, we know he's going to do well. We don't need to even really say that. But well played by both, and a very nice set of games here to basically close up week 1 of the Empire Collective up. I'll put the point on the board for Viper here. But it's worth noting, guys, that some of the round 1 games have been delayed. There's been a little bit of an issue with scheduling this week. Now, all of the Platinum games, or pretty much all of the Platinum games, have been played so far. We've got MBL and VNS Yellow still to go for round 1, and they will be they'll be delayed until next week because MBL's on holiday. The Gold games, however, that's been a little bit of a mess. The players in the Gold League really failing to schedule very well. We've got tonight at 10 p.m. UTC, Spring versus Kongensgaard, they're going to play. And on Wednesday, we've got ACCM versus Spaden, on Wednesday. But other than that, we've still got Mentalist versus VNS Seoul, we've still got Vinchester versus Toby, we've still got Zuppy versus Vodka L, and these guys are not scheduling too well at the moment, so we'll try and sort things out. It looks like maybe there'll be a game on Monday between Zuppy and Vodka L. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled, keep your eyes on the EmpireCollective.net website, EmpireCollective.net, because the schedule will be updated as soon as we know when the players are going to play. We'll be putting that on the schedule and updating you guys. I'll update the schedule below the stream, and if you want to make sure you don't miss any of the games, make sure you give the stream a follow, and obviously you'll be notified of when the games are happening. Yeah, I'm not going to ask Viper to do a post-game interview or anything, because he said he was feeling ill, so I don't want him to have to come on Skype if he's feeling ill or whatever. But I will make a point of getting some interviews with the players as the event goes on. But that's going to be it from me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these games. Everyone comes out in force to watch the Viper play, and you chose a good set of games to watch, guys. But I'm going to be heading off because I need to go and get some dinner. I'm very hungry and I've not eaten yet. So I'll be off now, and I'll see you guys next week for, well, more TEC. Actually, before I do go, I will update the scoreboard and I'll show you the league table. So there we go, Platinum League, and you guys can see what's going on with that. So at the moment, Say My Name and MBL yet to play, but everyone else has played their games this week. And at the moment, Viper Riot tied for first place, and Mr. Yo as well tied for first place. In second place, we've got Badgiofro, Chris and Juan, as well as Tato. And down in last, we've got Fiage, 8th Wonder, and Lojza. But yes, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I can't love war.